5 books every entrepreneur must read before starting a business. Starting a business is a lot like dancing the tango when you don't know what will happen. There is no doubt that being an entrepreneur is important in the business world. Innovative ideas, economic growth, and job opportunities are all started by a spark. People who are entrepreneurs are brave leaders who aren't afraid to question the status quo and make up new rules. An old proverb says, "Entrepreneurship is neither a science nor an art, this is a habit." Business owners need to gain knowledge and insights in order to improve their skills and make smart choices. And there's no better way to learn than to read the oceans of writing that other entrepreneurs have already lost their lives in. Books are a great way for people who want to be entrepreneurs to learn useful things. They're like mentors in print, giving useful tips, motivational stories, and important lessons learned the hard way. Hold on tight, aspiring business moguls. It's time to turn the pages. 1. The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. When you're ready to start your own business, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries is the perfect book to go with you. It's like the Bible for businesses that are started with little money. It's the first thing on our list for a good reason. Ries's way of thinking about being an entrepreneur is a big change in how businesses are built and new products are released. A summary of the book's main ideas. The main idea behind The Lean Startup is simple but profound: fail fast, succeed faster. Ries supports the idea of constant innovation that can happen through quick tests and proven learning. He says that any new business is an experiment in and of itself. To figure it out, just build, test, and learn. Instead, make your product, see how people react to it, and then decide whether to change direction or keep going. The Lean methodology is based on a never-ending cycle of learning and improving. What it says about how business owners can build successful, long-lasting companies. Ries gives entrepreneurs a way to be successful that is based on Lean principles. His way of thinking: don't put all of your effort into a product before you know what people want. Instead, put out a minimum viable product (MVP), get feedback, and quickly change what you've done. This method helps new businesses avoid the all-too-common startup graveyard, where businesses fail because they have products that no one wants. In the business world, staying lean means staying alive, after all. Remember that it's not about being the first to start, but about being the most flexible. 2. 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is an original thinker when it comes to startups and new ideas. 0 to 1 explains his philosophy, which is like a well-written rebel yell telling business owners to break free from the chains of tradition. When Thiel talks about making new things instead of improving old ones, it's like saying you should be the next Mozart instead of the cover band. Instead of 1 to n, which means more of the same, his idea of 0 to 1 means going from nothing to something. If you want to add another Me Too product to a market that's already full, Thiel's ideas might make you rethink your business plan. Key points for business owners: making a unique company. 0 to 1 by Thiel is a real treasure trove of unique business ideas. What was his first wise word? If people aren't calling you crazy, you might not be thinking big enough. When you're an entrepreneur, Thiel says to aim for monopoly, which means making a product that is so unique that no one else has it. He also stresses how important sales are. Telling an interesting story about your product is key to selling the dream. Innovative people are told in the book to question what people think and to strive for vertical progress, or doing new things. This is a very Thielian idea. Remember that in the world of business, being different could be your key to success. 3. Good to Great by Jim Collins. Let us now turn our attention to Jim Collins's masterpiece, Good to Great, as we ride the business roller coaster. Becoming great is a whole other level. Being good is one thing. Collins and his happy group of researchers take this less-known path. The change from good to great doesn't happen all at once, it happens over time. It's like going from being a dependable housecat to a majestic lion in charge of the business world. Collins says that people don't become great by chance or fate, they become great by combining humility with professional will, like how steps, rhythm, and expression all come together in a beautiful salsa dance. Strategies for Eternity: How to be Successful for a Long Time. Having the right magic potion is the key to longevity in business, just like it is in fairy tales. Good to Great by Jim Collins reveals the key to long-term growth and success. Instead of following short-term trends, the key is to stay focused on what you're really good at, what makes your business go, and what you're really excited about. It's like being a chef who knows his signature dish inside and out, and people come from miles around to try it. This trio, which we like to call the hedgehog concept, is like a North Star that points companies in the direction of long-term growth. Remember that tortoises usually move faster than hares in the business world. 4. The E-Myth Again, by Michael E. Gerber. Going into business for yourself is a lot like going on an Indiana Jones adventure. As the story goes on, we learn about the E-Myth Revisited, a famous book by Michael E. Gerber. Gerber acts like Sherlock Holmes, busting the many myths about business and showing the common mistakes that are as alluring as a siren's song. In spite of what most people think, an entrepreneur is not an artist lost in his business. Instead, he or she is like a maestro conducting a symphony, keeping dreams, work, and systems in balance. Entrepreneurship isn't about hacking through the business jungles with a machete. Instead, it's about using a good map and compass to find your way around. Putting down a strong base, the building blocks of success. Gerber says that the key to building a lasting business empire is not the grandeur of the front, but the strength of the base. This is similar to how Rome wasn't built in one day, but one brick at a time. The E-Myth says that in business, systematic building blocks are more important than personal heroism. It's like coming up with a great recipe for apple pie and then teaching your kitchen staff how to make it over and over again. It's not whims and fancy that make up the blueprint of a successful business, it's solid systems and processes. It's like the difference between building sandcastles that get washed away by the tide and building lighthouses that stand tall in the rough waves and help ships get to shore safely. 5. The Innovator's Dilemma, by Clayton Christensen. By going deep into Clayton Christensen's The Innovator's Dilemma, we find the scary truth about disruptive technologies. They're like charging elephants that destroy old business models. These new ideas are as disastrous as a comet hitting a planet. They don't just shake things up, they flip the boat over. But smart business people can turn these problems into great opportunities, just like an oyster can turn a pesky grain of sand into a pearl. Getting the change winds to work for you. Even though disruptive technologies may blow like a storm, they are not the end of the world. Instead, they're like the gusts of wind that fill the sails of an entrepreneur's ship and carry it to uncharted success spots. You don't have to play catch with hand grenades to embrace disruption. It's about using the power of new ideas to power your business and steer it skillfully through the terrain of competition. Getting rid of the old and bringing in the new are more important. The future does belong to those who make it, after all. Further reading and resources. If you want to keep going as an entrepreneur, you need to fill your backpack with information. Think of it as your business survival kit. Other books that business owners should read. The book The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. People who are brave enough to go into the startup jungle will find a lot of useful information in this book. It's like having a compass to help you find your way through the business world and keep you from drowning in failure. It's more of a survival guide than a book because it tells you how to build, measure, and learn. Sun Tzu's The Art of War. It's not what it seems like from the title alone. As useful in business as it was in war, Sun Tzu's ancient advice can be found everywhere. It's like a war horn that tells business owners they need to come up with good plans, study the competition, and finally win. Websites, podcasts, and communities for people who want to start their own businesses. The EO Fire Podcast. This podcast lets you talk with successful business people while you drink your morning coffee. This podcast is like a business seminar in your pocket, and it's full of useful information. Startup Grind is an online community where entrepreneurs talk and share ideas. It has events for networking, motivational talks, and useful information. Like the town square for people who are interested in starting a business. Remember that becoming an entrepreneur is like setting sail on the vast sea of business. Get these things, and you'll be ready to sail through rough seas and enjoy the warm shores of success. Because, at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur isn't easy. People who are brave enough to jump into the unknown will enjoy this exciting roller coaster ride. Other books business owners can look out for. Seth Godin's Purple Cow. This book really shows you the way in the world of marketing. Godin tells you to stand out from the black Holstein cows by being the purple cow. It adds splashes of creativity and new ideas to your business strategy, like a paintbrush. The book The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. Think of this as the North Star that will help you find your way through the startup jungle. It's like having a compass to help you find your way through the business world and keep you from drowning in failure. It's more of a survival guide than a book because it tells you how to build, measure, and learn. If you've ever wanted to start your own business, don't just sit on the edge of the ocean of opportunity and think about it. Jump right in. You're not just jumping without knowing what to do because you have these books and websites to help you. It's like having a jetpack on your business journey. It makes sure that your flight is both informative and exciting. Let the business world hear you roar. People who believe in the beauty of their dreams will have the best future.